Hello everyone, this is Old School from WhatTheBuck.net, reporting to you live from Valrico, Florida. Sorry this video is late. This is a recap of the Washington Redskins victory over the Buccaneers. I was not able to get this done. I had some other commitments that got me down to South Florida and reminded me how much I hate South Florida. But it did take the pain out of the fact that we once again were incapable of putting together 4 quarters of football. This is sort of the story of the Bucs season thus far, aside from the other stories, porous defense, ineffective offense, poor play calling from time to time. The franchise is going through a serious rebuilding phase right now, folks. If you're a Bucs fan, this is a miserable time, but if you've been a Bucs fan for a decent period of time, you've been through this before. It will get darker before it gets lighter, folks. It's going to get ugly, but that's okay. The effort level was back up this week. It wasn't like the Giants game when the effort kind of went out the window. The Bucs did put in the effort. Sadly, it wasn't for 4 quarters. Now, the first quarter and the third quarter were the areas we were trying to focus on this week going into the Redskins game. We had scored no points in either. Typically gotten out to put ourselves in a hole at the beginning and had to dig our way out. Then once we dug our way out in the second quarter, went and did nothing in the third quarter. This week we opened up big. Defense showed up. Defensive line got pressure. We got a turnover. We jumped to a lead. Carried that lead into the half. Then the third quarter showed up, and we dropped 16 points just like that, and all of a sudden the game was a whole different tenor. We went in talking about Jason Campbell. The guy had a 15.7 QB rating against our defense in the first half, and then he hung a 157.2 in the second half. This was definitely a tale of two halves. Also for our young quarterback, after looking relatively decent in the beginning, Josh is a young kid, a lot of athleticism. He hits Antonio Bryant for a touchdown pass, managing the game well. The Washington defense put some solid pressure on him. The offensive line was incapable of protecting him. And once Josh threw that interception to D'Angelo Hall, which was a good read by Hall, if he didn't get that pick, though, that pick was going to happen anyway. It was a poorly thrown ball. He wasn't able to step into it. Once that occurred, either Josh or Greg Olson, our offensive coordinator, or both of them became incredibly defensive, protected. And it became check down fest and scramble fest, and our offense was unable to get things untracked. We had 3 possessions in the third quarter. They were all 3 and outs. That is not the way to get things done in the third quarter. Washington got up there, got on the board. Chris Cooley ate us up. We talked about that before the game. Clinton Portis averaged his season average at 3.9 yards a carry. Chris Cooley got in there for a touchdown. He was targeted 10 times, caught 5, got a TD. Our linebackers are having a real problem covering strong receiving tight ends. That continued in this game. We're concerned about it moving to the Eagles game with Selleck as well. And then Santana Moss, who had been held in check by Aqib Talib, who had 3 picks on the day, made a nice double move on Aqib with no safety help over the top. Jason Campbell laid a beautiful pass out there. Santana for 6. That was probably the only black mark on Aqib Talib's day. So on the offensive side of the ball, things just got ugly in the second half like we talked about. Mike Nugent was horrible, missing field goals. When we had a chance to get back in there, we were 4th and goal at the 4-yard line. We choose to go for the field goal to pull it to within 3 points to give our kicker a chance to kick a field goal if we can drive the length of the field, if the defense can get the ball back. The defense gets the ball back. We can't drive the length of the field because we hand off to Clifton Smith on 3rd down. He fumbled the ball. But to be honest, even if we had gotten into field goal range, he'd already missed a 45, I think, and a 47-yard field goal. Nugent was horrible. He has been horrible, and subsequently he has been cut. We'll be starting Shane Andrews, who's never kicked a football in the NFL for a start, since he got into the league in, I think, 2006. But anything's got to be a step up. From a review perspective, obviously, Nugent's going to get the skull on this one. Horrible game. If your kicker can't make field goals, what the hell's the point of him being on the squad? Gaines Adams showed up big time, folks. This is a guy who's been much maligned in Tampa, had a great game, great pressures, a sack, recovered fumble, a batted ball, just all over the field. That's the kind of effort we need out of that top pick, and we need it week in and week out. It's going to be interesting to see if he can maintain that same level and intensity this week against the Eagles. The season is not over for us. Right, as Bucs fans, this is rebuilding. It sucks to be winless right now. We thought the Redskins game was winnable. It was. We had a chance to win it, and we just didn't get it done. We go to face a much better team this week in the Eagles. The team continues to get healthier, but our injury list is ugly when you look at it compared to everyone else's. Coach Morris is going to continue to struggle. He's starting to lose a little bit of the locker room, it looks like. Mike Clayton started running his mouth about not getting the opportunities after dropping the opportunity that he did have. We've got words from Mike Clayton that aren't suitable for this particular video venue, but if you want to hear what I had to say about that, get over to whatthebuck.net and listen to the show that we did on Thursday night about Mike Clayton running his mouth. A little less talk, a little more catching the ball is what it comes down to. So that's the review. Nothing to take away from the Redskins. To be honest, I don't think they're a very good team, but they were less bad than us and put together enough points to get the victory. against us in this particular day. The stats were unremarkable. The game was unremarkable. If you were not a fan of one of these two teams, you were bored silly watching it after the first 3 quarters. But again, from a Bucs fan perspective, the effort level was high. The defense showed that they could do something on the defensive line. The linebackers showed some skills. They've got to work on how to cover pass-catching tight ends, guys like Chris Cooley, Jason Witten, Selick, Gonzalez, these guys that we're going to see throughout the year. They're going to have to improve those skills. Geno Hayes had an excellent game, was in the backfield regularly against the run. The defensive tackle showed up, kept him guarded. But all in all, another loss. So it doesn't matter how much the effort was. It wasn't consistent. It wasn't continued. It wasn't throughout the entire 4 quarters. That's what we're going to talk about this week as we go into Philadelphia. I'll get that video up here sometime this evening. That's it for now. Check us out at whatthebuck.net if you want to hear more about what we do. We'd love to see you over there.